Hello, Mixer. Got some lovely chicken to cook tonight. Got a lovely Chardonnay. Hopefully, I'll get a couple people to join along with me here. Maybe not. It's the first one I'm trying it out. I got my chicken breasts with bone in. More of a price choice for myself here. And so I'm going to go ahead and debone these. I've had them defrosting much of the afternoon here. I'm going to start by just sort of ripping the skin off here. Don't really plan to use that this evening. Some big guys. I was expecting them to be a bit smaller. I went for smaller size packages, but ended up with some monster chicken breasts here, so these will be good for stuffing, but not exactly great for showing people how to do it with a small, tiny little thing. But here I got most of the breastbone gone in this guy, so there's a little bit of remnant right there. Just remove the ribs, just like you would if it was still a whole chicken. Wow, that's thick membrane on that tenderloin. Where you start wishbone. That being the other half of the broken wishbone. I skip a little of the cartilage there. Try and make this a little bit easier on myself this evening. These bones are still going to go to good use. And we got our first breast there. And I'm going to pull the tenderloin away from that guy. And we'll save the tenderloin for something else here in the future. You can keep them with or do it without. Either way, it'll look fine once we wrap it on the sheet pan. Wrap it with bacon. Stuff it full of all star stuff. There's a small little sliver of bone here I'm having trouble getting to. Just take the whole thing out. Let's see here. There's still a piece there. Okay. And chicken breast number 2. Wow, yeah. Big old chicken breasts. Big old breasts. I mean, look at that tenderloin. That tenderloin's huge by itself. Okay. Those all get saved for later. So, like I said, you can leave the tenderloins on if you want or not. I just figured these guys are already so big and thick that I can work without it. This guy's like twice the size of that one. Wow. Anyways, give the hands a quick wash here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the slit into these. Ooh, picked that up and felt a piece of bone again. So we'll start with the sort of ugly side here that was against the bone anyways for cutting our pocket into these. And start with sort of the tip or the short end here. Now I've got my hand in between here. You got to be careful with that, but it also allows me to feel where the knife is. So it's sort of a combination of giving up a bit of safety for knowing where you're cutting, which sure good to know. Make sure we got a big enough pocket here for all of our lovely goodness. Okay, so that guy pretty well opened up in there now. I mean, that's there. Same thing with this guy. Again, like I said, having the hand there sort of allows me to know where the knife is, so it's a combination of trying to be safe by being careful rather than there we go. So now we got our chicken all opened up. We'll let this continue to dry on the cutting board here while we get other things together, like the filling. Normally roll up my sleeves, but can't really do it with this guy. He's a little too thick. Okay, so we'll switch over to, we'll get the plastic wrap out of the way, put the chicken over there. Yeah, let's use a fork. Over Swiss. I went ahead with the Swiss cheese because I decided I thought that would be a sort of cool riff on things. I hadn't tried it before, so see how this works with Swiss cheese instead of, say, cheddar or one of the more, at least in my book, a little bit more regular cheeses to use. Let's see how many cheese slices I said. I say 4. I did. There we go, 4 slices of Swiss. Add a little bit of Parmesan. Just the last what I had, that container there. Gonna be opening up a lot of these in the next couple of days. Got that Basque cheesecake coming up I'm gonna be going through. Some poundage. So, 2 ounces. Cut. And fall off of there. There we go. Yep, trash. Be right back. I don't know if I've ever even brought this knife out on stream before. He's a small little guy. I've had him, he's one of my oldest knives. Regardless of the fact that he's got a plastic handle. I seem to remember it having more of a bow to it than it does now. I think it got sharpened out over the years. So make sure there ain't any paper slices in between our pieces of cheese like they like to do these days. And we'll give this a quick chop like it's shredded. And finally we have some spinach. I said a handful of spinach, so why don't we do about that. Throw the rest of this back in the fridge for later. And we'll pull our stems off of our leaves. Got baby spinach, that's even better. Don't even have to really bother. But this is my preference as far as flavor of the different spinaches that I have available. Excuse me. Got the hiccups going here. Oftentimes when you get spinach like this here, this stuff is pretty good, but often when you get spinach like this, you want to clean it like 5 times. I'm not even really exaggerating. Most of the bunch spinach is sandy and dirty, and you don't want that in your mouth. You don't want to eat that. So, used to be a lot worse. Nowadays they clean veggies a lot more than they used to. They have much better machines to do it for them. Take these, give them a sort of quick roll. I sort of kept them somewhat in the same direction. Few more chops in there. Make it a little bit more compliant compliant spinach. You could also do mushrooms in here. There's all sorts of stuff you can stuff in. I mean, it's chicken. You can do everything with chicken, but work with everything when it comes to chicken. But you can do tomatoes in summer. You can do... This bowl's a little too small for this project, but we'll work with it. Cutting board isn't exactly dirty. I'll just do the dirty and scrape it up. Okay. So this is almost like dough-like now, which it's actually sort of good. I mean, you want moisture in there because you want moisture from the cream cheese in order to, and from the spinach to help create more of like a almost cheese sauce going on the inside. Because if you don't get some moisture in there, it's going to be just a giant cheese pull, which is great for photos, but ain't necessarily, yeah. Chewing on cheese all day ain't necessarily the best experience. Alright. So we'll bring our chicken back over here. Going to use our fork here to stuff as much as we can to get in there. We want to try and keep our hand, at least one of our hands, relatively clean here. Forget it. But we're going to pack it in there. I mean, look at how much we got. I mean, it's a good amount of filling we got here. That's all I really want to put into that one, because you want you want the protein to seal to the protein. Otherwise you won't get a good seal on your cut open part of the chicken breast. So we're going to stop with that right there. Just flip that over right on the board right like that. Use the rest of this lovely mixture in this guy, or as much as we can get in there. Much rather have them close nicely and have a little bit leftover cheese and spinach and cream cheese that you can throw in a salad or something. Or in case of my lunches here these days, it'd be great with some eggs for lunch. Good stuff. This one's got a little bit of a tear to him. I'm not quite getting all of that filling into this one, but we do have a good seal here. There we go. Yeah. That'll work okay. We'll get this guy out of the way. Oh, that was out because I wanted to remind myself to do something with that. Give my hands a wash and do that. I have the bowl and the whisk out there. I brought all the equipment out so I visually knew how much I was supposed to be working with according to my own plans. But the bowl and whisk I purposely brought out so that it would remind me to throw it back in the refrigerator with some heavy cream in it. Because when you whip cream, you want both the cream and the tools that you're using to whip it up with, whether you're using a stand mixer bowl and whip, or you're using a bowl and whisk like I am. Get our cooking spoon out of there. So this guy, we're going to take whole pint of heavy whippy cream. Good stuff. With the cream top often. We're going to give that a good shake. So we'll just so that'll go in the fridge now for until we're almost done with things here, until we're working on our chocolate mousse, which is sort of end game. All right. Got to get my $2 bottle returned. Which, other than that, their prices are really competitive. I mean, even though they're in old school heavy glass bottles and have a huge return price on them. Okay. So we got our cream in the fridge. Let's clean you up and get rid of you. Hold off on that for a second here. We got bacon. Okay. More bacon than we need, but bacon. Bacon. Okay, so we'll take our other chicken breasts here and throw you down. We'll start wrapping. Nope. That's just got to come off the counter there. So bacon, when we're wrapping, we want it to overlap. We're going to start at the top there and then wrap over. start sort of at the end of the last one. Bring it down to the next one here. Hi, Mrs. Toggs. Thank you for the embers. And so here's our second stuffed chicken breast. Oh, Mr. Toggs, sorry. Your names are so similar. You got Swiss cheese and with a little bit of Parmesan and spinach inside of our chicken, so we're not entirely bad for us this evening. Trying to at least make it sound good. One of them, it's, you know, I say it probably often enough that bacon makes every stream better. There we go. Now in high definition GIFs. I'm going to start the oven up here to 400 degrees in a moment after I'm done washing my hands off here. That's more like a light rinse these days. They were saying this morning, or on the Level Up cast, the weekly mixer cast, that they tried to do it like 4 years ago and basically broke chat. Which I was not around for the Beam days as much. But yes, more pixels always better. So we'll hold off on throwing that in the oven. You can do this whole dinner on just one sheet pan. I'm going to do it on two just for convenience because the chicken may cook at a different time and temperature than our potatoes. Even though I'm probably going to be lazy and pull them out at the same time anyways. But I don't know, how do they break chat these days? We got taters. Baby taters. New taters. Well, considering it's them saying it, I think it actually, like, really broke chat before. Like, whereas now it just may be too large or something. But really, it's needed. Just give each of these guys a quick halving. Okay, I can see that, especially with Xbox. Shh, I don't own an Xbox. Yeah, I don't know about the whole co-stream thing. I'm not a giant fan of that. I'm sure there's great uses for it, but it just doesn't. At least on my PC, it just never looks right. I mean, you get these two little half windows trying to fit in the same size as a normal one. So does that turn you on or what? So, about 2 ounces of oil there. Lots of salt since they're potatoes. A little bit of fresh black cracked pepper. A little MSG. That's cool. A couple sprigs of thyme in here. I have a lovely Chardonnay this evening. Have Rayburn Russian River Valley Chardonnay, made in Grattan or Grayton, I don't know, probably Grayton. About 30 minutes down the road from me. Yeah, it's a small little They don't have their own processing facilities. They share they use a shared processing facility for wine in downtown Graydon. So, not that big of an operation, but it is widely distributed from what I looked at online, and that's why wine I chose for this evening, because I figured people might be able to get their hands on it. We got our chicken stuffed. I used Swiss cheese with cream cheese and some a little bit of Parmesan. I said 1 sprig of rosemary, which this is all we really need in there is a little bit. It's potent stuff. In fact, most fine dining places consider it overpowering and typically won't actually even put it in their dishes. They'll put it as a garnish. They'll put it along the side so you can smell it, but you don't really have it in your dish. And so, give those a toss. Get them all coated in oil nice. And right onto cutting board. This is one of those ones where oil is almost sort of the key. You want to almost drench these things in oil compared to what you would normally think. This is certainly not sauteing in a pan. I mean, you look at all these, they're all nice and glossy. Coated in oil. Part of my whole cook-alongs thing, I am trying to leave this evening without any major dishes on the counter. So I'm going to do a little bit more dishwashing this evening than usual. So what are you guys up to lately? How's social isolation treating you? So we got our potatoes ready to go in the oven. We got our chicken ready to go in the oven. Now to work on our carrots. Our oven's ready, so why don't we go ahead and throw these in. These are both going in for roughly 40 minutes. But since you mentioned wine, might as well open this baby up. do want to finish this before I get to tonight's mousse dessert, which probably the easiest dessert known to man, aside from the whole whipping cream. Tonight's dessert is literally sweetened whipping cream. I do turn that whole whole pint of whipped cream into whipping cream into whipped cream with powdered sugar, and then we're gonna separate off a little bit that we'll use for our tops or nice white whipped cream tops, and mix in cocoa powder with the rest of it, and so we'll have a nice dark chocolatey cocoa mousse, and to go with that, some nice light. Oh, I was going to add a little bit of vanilla in it, so all of it will have a little bit of vanilla flavor going on too. Got a real cork going on this evening. That's nice. This is more of a, I forget the exact price, but $14, $15 bottle. Rayburn. Running out of room on top of my corks bottle. I gotta put them back in. Put them in with the rest of them. Nice golden hay color. Grab something white to throw behind there. Actually, it's a little more golden than a straw hay. That's a little bit, that's pretty yellow. Ooh, wow, all sorts of fruit in the nose. And like bright, almost like green fruit, as far as like stone fruit, but green, fresh, like too ripe. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Green apple and pear, that's right there. Surly aging, which awesome. I'm a big fan of wines that are aged on their lees. Not a whole lot of oak or anything to that, which is sort of, you know, a shocker for California. But at the same time, here in Russian River Valley, there are some whites that, you know, sort of more French, a little bit lighter oak. I think this probably falls into that category. If you're not familiar with resting a wine on its lees, or as I did with my mead, I rested it on the lees. It's where after it's been fermenting for a while, and all of the yeast has done the work that the yeast is going to do, and it's sort of gone dormant once again because it's sort of drunk with alcohol. For lack of a better, I mean, it's consumed what sugars it's found in its container, and it's sort of done its job, and it's gone back dormant, and it ends up in like a cake at the bottom of the barrel, or whatever you're fermenting in. And this means that, and rusting on the lees means that it sat there and they allowed it to sit there on the yeast and pick up a lot more of that flavor, which is going to give you more nuttiness, more, yeastiness. It's going to give you, it's not going to be the light yeast flavors, but more like a nutritional yeast flavor like you get from, they're throwing on popcorn all the time these days. some carrots. I've already used a couple of these, so I'm only going to take one out of this bunch. But I bought these very specifically for a reason. I'm not trying to advertise who they're from, but you'll find these same style rainbow carrots pretty much. I've seen them all over the country in supermarkets. And they're pretty. They're very pretty. I mean, you get some nice purples, you got that. We normally get some reds here more in the summertime. Maybe some pinks or something along that line. I'm actually growing rainbow carrots this year in my own garden. These things are next to flavorless. I can't stand these carrots. Next time you buy them, or if you do buy them, try them and just eat them and compare them to, you know, your bar standard orange horse carrot. And that horse carrot is going to be a lot more flavorful than these guys, sadly. It's one of the few things where I don't think, I think the color takes away from these carrots a considerable amount. And my heritage with the House of Orange has nothing to do with that. So this guy had a big cut in him. We'll give these all a rinse off. So I'm just going to do simple rings with these, I think. There's a different variety of different ways you can cut these guys. Maybe I'll do other styles here in the future to show you guys. I'll leave that in there, and just makes it interesting. Do want them about the same thickness, so that they're cooking about the same amount of time. Oh, this is one of the red ones that actually goes through as being red too. Usually a lot of the times the red ones are just on the very outside on these carrots too. Which makes me feel like I got gypped off even more when they don't taste like anything. I ate 2 or 3 of these with lunch with the ranch. I just last the ranch. So these guys are ready to go, and we're ready to go with this. We need garlic with them. So we'll get ourselves a clove or 2 of garlic here. Got some monster cloves of garlic here. Well, they're not elephant style garlic, size garlic, which is also ridiculous to you. There's another one that's like this. Elephant garlic. It's huge. It's convenient, but you ain't got any flavor. Eek. Give me 1 second. Check here on something. Bright and acidic. Come on, scroll to the top. Okay, garlic sliced in half here. Thankfully not full of sprouts again like those other heads of garlic I had. But we are going to have green garlic here soon. And I am planning that for May cook-along. I have plans out today for April cook-along. And I at least came up with the basic gist of what I'm planning to do for May as well. The idea is I'm hoping to have the next one ready to go to try and catch people here for this one. So. Excuse me. Coughing on my own food here. Not sure we're going to get many people showing up today, unfortunately. Decent amount of garlic with our carrots there. Quick shaking on my board. There we go. And so I'm going to put together some apple cider vinegar. Can use a strainer to make my life easier, but it doesn't need to have one. Who's sending me messages? Give me one moment. So this is where our citrus comes into play. I grabbed a lime, or a lemon. I said any type of citrus really. I actually typically use orange for this. It probably would have been my initial choice if I wasn't just buying a whole bunch of citrus for a whole bunch of things in the kitchen. So I didn't In this case, I didn't buy an orange special, but OJ works great for this. Works great with the carrots. But lemon will do us nicely as well. So we got all sorts of acid in there now, which is what you want for your flavor. Make it acidic and bright and stand out. Next, we're going to add our garlic, so we'll add in a bit of umami. This is all going to get reduced down next to nothing, so that garlic will get cooked. It's just not going to get a lot of sauteing, searing, which we don't even really want for this, so. And big honking spoon of honey here to sweeten everything up. Even though we got sweet carrots to begin with. And like I said in my ingredient list, you got brown rice syrup, you got, yeah, we're just looking for some sweetness. So. Blueberry honey. That oddly, because of the garlic, I think sort of tastes Italian. So we get this all set up, we'll give this a stir, get that all happy together. Honey's still sticking to the spoon here. Allow those to hang out here. Let's take a look at our oven and see how things are doing down here. Everything's happy. Yeah, everything's doing well. Still not quite ready to get going with these carrots though, so I'm gonna hold off a minute here, finish off rinsing the strainer and the reamer. Still got another at least 6 minutes on those guys, and really looking at the, I mean, those chicken breasts were so thick, and looking at the bacon on the outside, I'm going to want to let that go a bit longer. Potatoes we're going to definitely give a look at around then, but I think they're going to take a little bit longer here too. even though I'm pretty sure my oven runs hot. I'm pretty sure that even though I have this set to 400, it's probably pushing 425 in there right now, which quite warm for home oven. And there isn't anything special that I've done to try and boost that or anything. It's just what I've got. Oh wow, look at the legs on that. All sorts of legs on that wine. "100% of workforce must stay home." Wow. Yeah. And so we used 2 ounces or so oil out of the 3 ounces with our potatoes. Last ounce goes with our carrots here. In the blue bowl, we have all the ingredients for doing my glazing with the carrots. We have honey, we have garlic, we have apple cider vinegar, and the juice of 1 lemon. Rainbow carrots. Yes, I was ranting about those. You missed my rant. I cannot stand rainbow carrots. They're gorgeous. They look beautiful, which is so much of eating and food. But their flavor is just so horrible compared to, I mean, try them sometime compared to just a buck standard orange horse carrot. And I don't think that they hold up. I don't know. Maybe you guys have different rainbow carrots around you than I do, but that's sort of my feeling on them. So we're waiting on our chicken to cook and potatoes to cook. They're looking like they're probably going to take an extra 10-15 minutes than I was expecting. We're at about 40 minutes here now. And bacon's looking cooked, but it's not looking crispy at all. Needs a little bit more time to cook through. And the potatoes are looking okay, but we want to get them crispy. So we're leaving them in there a little bit longer. I think I'm going to whip cream while we're waiting. So we'll move that out of the way. We'll move the carrots out of the way so I don't get cream all over them. So we got cold cream, cold bowl, cold whip. Yeah, just a hint of vanilla. That was a little bit more than I was planning to put in there, but we'll live with that, okay? And roughly a half cup here of powdered sugar. Oh, and so it actually tastes like something. A small pinch of salt. I put salt in everything. I'm just a salty kind of guy. I've already got ingredients and equipment down below in my info section for my next month's cook along. Gonna be doing. Spent part of this afternoon writing that up. Gonna be doing spatchcock chicken with mashed sweet potatoes with a little molasses in them, and braised greens with a ham hock, and Nutella mug cakes. So that's going to be April 24th. And then the 26th, I'm going to do a chicken soup from the leftover carcass and all that from the spatchcock chicken. So, going to tie all that together. Speaking of co-streams earlier, we should do a couple of I mean, I was complaining about them, but we should do a couple of co-streams cooking at some point if you ever got some recipes you're interested in doing party style. Yep. Starting with making big batch of whipped cream with a little vanilla in there, as you can see. And then I'm going to take out like maybe a quarter of it or so. And depending on what type of cocoa you have and how powerful you want it, how dark you want it, you can add anywhere from a quarter to a third cup of cocoa in with the rest of it. And so you have a nice, it's sort of the easiest mousse you can ever make. It's literally 3 ingredients if you don't count the salt. Not doing like a gelatin or a egg-based mousse, just gonna use the air from the cream. Starting to look nice in there. Still gonna give that another, like I said, probably another 6-7 minutes here. This is obviously a much easier project if you're using a blender, or not a blender, but a stand mixer. Starting to get there now. Got some decent body building up now. It's actually showing the ribbons from whisking it. Well, see, my problem is I don't have a stand mixer to use. I was tempted to break out this guy, but I didn't feel like cleaning him. And I also wanted to make the recipe approachable to everyone. So, little arm workout. Alright, we're going to set that aside until I can finish that. That's going to rest a little bit. We'll start our carrots down here. Got some oil in the pan, about an ounce of oil in the pan there, heating up. Now, if I had a stand mixer, I would have just started right off with that. I used to have a hand beater mixer too. I don't know what happened to that. Probably disappeared into an employee's backpack at some point or something. I wouldn't suggest this wine with the chocolate mousse, so maybe wrap that up before you get to the chocolate mousse. But pretty tasty otherwise. Really acidic, really bright, really really fresh, very bright. Very ripe fruit flavors. And like I said, it was raised right here in my backyard. Make sure the whole bottom of the pan's coated well with that oil. Bring that up to the point where it starts to smoke. It's on the very edge of that right now, actually. Yeah, they're definitely something you have to commit to unless you're doing like yeast breads and stuff on a regular basis. You know, it's a lot of space to take up on your counter. Yeah, it's a great counter ornament. Okay, we're starting to get that light smoke going on now. We actually want to get a little bit of color on these guys early. We're going to start with really high heat here, lots of smoke, lots of sizzle. I've got that burner cranked all the way up. We want to cook these carrots until about 75% of the way through. We want them just barely to the point where you'd be willing to accept them on your plate. And then we're going to add that sauce in, turn it down a little bit and almost like quick braise them. We're going to reduce that liquid down to like thick glaze over everything. So we get that concentrated liquid of concentrated syrup of honey and acid and sugar and yummy yummy. Well, it's like the Vitamix. I mean, my Vitamix takes up a huge section, my corner of my counter there. It doesn't even really show up well on camera because it's all black. But both Vitamixes and those blenders are, I mean, they're really commercial equipment, but they're being sold to the households in order to make them mass produced and cheaper for everyone. Okay, let's see how our chicken looks here. See if we pull the chicken. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the chicken out now. Those are looking lovely. Those are gonna be yummy. Allow those to rest for a couple minutes here. while we finish up our carrots and a lot of the potatoes to finish up. We're starting to get there looking color-wise. We're starting to look like they're starting to cook through. You notice how you only got the center there that's looking really dark. The rest of that is quite opaque now. So I think I'm going to add in our liquids now and our garlic. Watch out for the stain. And the vinegar making you cough. Thank you for the auto host. I like the new auto host system, but I want to be able to just host people that are doing, you know, like certain things. Like so many people that are in food and drink. I want to host people in food and drink, but so many of them go off and play random other games and stuff like that. And I'd love to be able to host people when they're doing food and drink, but all right, Mrs. Toggs, I hope you have a lovely evening. Going to be wrapping up things here in the next 10 to 15 minutes here, so I hope you have a lovely stream. So reduce this down to a lovely little glaze. Make sure all of our carrots are well coated. Give everything here a quick pinch of salt. We already had some salt in there, but just a little to finish everything off. So now we got some lovely cooked carrots there. Don't have chives anymore, but I do have some sesame seeds kicking around the kitchen, so I'll add a couple of sesame seeds in here just for a little bit of garnish. That is quite warm still. Let's see what we got here for taters. Trying to knock them off of the paper here to loosen them up a bit. Those are looking nice and toasty. cutting board here. Actually going to pick up the smaller of our 2 chicken breasts. Yummy, yummy Swiss cheese. And then about half of our carrots here. And there you go. There's the main course dinner. We'll finish up our mousse here in a second. Grab a quick photo for the Instagrams. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, we'll do that once more. Okay, now let's finish up that chocolate mousse. We'll grab a nice little dish here for it, a little Finlandia glass. We got our already mostly hand whipped cream here. Get a quick turn around here. There we go. And I'll pull some of this off to use as our garnish on top. Please note I'm only cooking for myself if you're worried about sanitation at this point with all the things going on in the world. Okay, and anywhere from quarter cup to a third of a cup here of cocoa, depending on how dark you want to go with the flavor, how dark of a chocolate flavor you want. I've got some Ghirardelli cocoa here. I'm just going to give that a healthy sprinkle in there. I'm not going to even actually measure it myself. And slow to start like we're working with flour here. You just want to get all those lumps incorporated here. We are limited by the fact that we're basically turning it into a butter at this point. But I mean, seriously, this is a 3-ingredient mousse, chocolate mousse. How much more simpler can you make it? I probably could have gone a little heavier there with the cocoa. I don't want to mix this too much more though, as we're pretty close to turning this to butter. Excuse me. Okay, so chocolate mousse into the cup here. Ooh, that's lovely. And then cooking for myself again, not worried about germs. A little bit of whipped cream on top. If you weren't here earlier, this whipped cream has both sweetened with powdered sugar, a dash of salt, and a little bit of vanilla extract in there. That's yummy. I like that. I mean, it's so simple and easy to do too. I mean, that's this. I'm trying to do simple desserts here for the cook-alongs that, you know, could easily be replicated. That's a damn easy and very tasty dessert. Right, wipe our rim off here a little bit. And turn it so I don't notice it on the camera. Alright, so I'm going to toss this into the fridge for later, since this will actually hold up decently. As will the other parts. And I'm going to enjoy this loveliness right here. We got our Swiss and Parmesan and spinach stuffed chicken breast here with bacon, some roasted potatoes, all sorts of herb and seasoning, and our glazed carrots. Like to thank everyone for stopping by today. I'd like to thank any of the followers, the hosts, all that good shit. Thank you for stopping by, and hope you all have a lovely evening. I, as usual, will kick you to my thank you for watching screen there, and I will take a look and see if there's anyone to host. If not, I hope you all have a lovely evening, and thanks for joining me.